Now at 9, new details are released in a homicide case in McCune, Kansas. Plus, an area horse ranch says the intense heat is to blame for the death of a beloved horse. And
some MSSU buildings and AC units are having a hard time keeping up with the heat. I'm Fernanda Silva, and I'll show you the strategies the university is taking to make sure their students are healthy inside and out.
The 4 states' most watched news starts now.
Thank you for joining us tonight. I'm Elise Noe. A Cherokee man learns his sentence for a non-fatal hit and run that happened in Pittsburgh last year. On a Thursday, a judge sentenced Brian Walrod to 8 months in prison. Walrod will then serve an 18-month probation. The judge also ordered Walrod to pay more than $30,000 in restitution to the victim, who survived the hit and run. The hit and run happened on October 28th, 2022 in the 1400 block of East 14th Street. A Southeast Kansas woman enters a plea deal for the death of her 2-month-old infant. Rebecca Dobbs of Gass, Kansas entered a plea of no contest to involuntary manslaughter, which means she accepted the conviction as though she entered a guilty plea, but not admitting guilt. In 2022, prosecutors charged Dobbs with first-degree murder and aggravated endangering of a child. In June 2023, prosecutors amended the murder charge to involuntary manslaughter. This week's plea deal dismissed the aggravated endangering of a child charge. The court scheduled a sentencing date of November 6th of 2023. The attorney for the McCune, Kansas man accused of fatally shooting his grandson has requested a bond reduction. Authorities say on August 7th, John Fox shot and killed his grandson, 28-year-old Ian Fox. There are also new details in the case about what led to the shooting. According to the court documents, John and Ian Fox were gathered with other family members at a home in McCune playing pool. They then say John Fox did not want to play anymore and went outside and refused to come back in. The documents say later Ian Fox went outside, then 20 to 30 minutes after that, John Fox came back in and said, quote, "I shot Ian." He is now charged with second-degree murder. Meteorologist Sam Lane joins us with a first look at weather.
All right, thank you very much, Elise. It was another hot day across the 4 states with many places above 100, including Joplin with a high of 101. It was over 100 degrees up in Garnett, as well as out towards the west and southeastern Kansas this afternoon. So it was very blistering hot. We do have some moisture moving into the area though, and that's good news. As we can see on the satellite and radar water vapor loop, you can see scattered thunderstorms developing, especially off towards the north and west. This is along a cold front that's going to be moving in our direction as we head into the weekend. So we're going to have cooler temperatures and also a chance of precipitation coming back into our forecast. And if we take a look at the into the morning forecast, you can see temperatures are going to be in the 80s tonight, dropping down to about 76 degrees in the morning. And I'll have more details on our forecast coming up in just a bit.
We'll see you soon. Extreme heat has defined summer for the 4 states this year, but it's not just a human problem. Our furry friends are battling the heat too. KOAM's Amber Jenkins talked with a local horse therapy stable about their recent loss.
A wild Mustang named Trinity is known for healing hearts at Trinity Circle Equestrian Therapy. After all, it was named after him.
I'm actually diagnosed with complex PTSD, and Katana and Trinity were my therapy horses. That was actually how I started doing this.
On August 20th, temperatures reached 99 degrees and Newland knew something was wrong with Trinity.
The heat stressed his system, which caused an abscess in his gut. And the abscess, we believe, ruptured is what actually killed him.
Everyone, human or horse, was heartbroken after the loss of Trinity.
It was heartbreaking because he died just over here in the pasture, and several of the horses actually came by and checked on him, and they sniff at each other's noses. They get the breath, and they checked his breath, and you could see he's not breathing.
To keep the other horses cool, Newland installed fans inside the barn, posted more mineral blocks, and maintained the watering hole.
Almost every day. We've canceled clients this week because it's just too hot, and we don't need to lose another horse or a human. I named him Trinity for me, God, and my horses.
Reporting in Gutman, Amber Jenkins, KOAM News.
Cooling baths and a cool breeze are some ways to keep horses cool in the heat. The McDonald County School District today broke ground on 2 new projects. The first is a classroom addition and storm shelter at White Rock Elementary in Pineville. The second project at Southwest City Elementary, where they are building a new classroom addition and bathroom facility. The projects are being paid for by a voter-approved bond. They are expected to be completed by the end of the school year. Well, some Missouri Southern State University buildings and AC units are struggling to keep up with the extreme heat hitting the 4 states. KOAM's Fernanda Silva has the story.
When biology professor David Penning noticed Reynolds Hall was getting hotter than usual, he was concerned, not only about his students, but also about the more than 250 snakes and other reptiles he takes care of in the building.
We've been putting ice blocks and stuff in some of our cages, making sure animals don't get too hot and all sorts of stuff like that.
Professor Penning also had to deal with the hot temperatures himself.
It was terrible. I've sweat through my shirt almost every day I've lectured in this building so far. Here in Reynolds Hall, at least, it definitely got balmy up to, I'd say, probably 79, 81, something like that. We can make it about 20, 30 minutes in and everybody's waving papers or something.
On the first week of the fall semester at MSSU, some classes were canceled and others were held online. Some professors chose to move their classes to cooler classrooms and other buildings. Exchange student from Japan, Yumi Fakao, wasn't expecting the hot temperatures that hit the 4 states area, especially when studying in rooms where the AC was not working properly.
It's uncomfortable to be in the hot classroom. Yes, I couldn't focus in my study so much.
Fakao is not the only one reporting having a hard time concentrating.
It can just make learning a lot more difficult because of those conditions.
It's just challenging to be focused in an environment when you're uncomfortable.
One of the strategies the university is adopting is placing water stations inside the buildings where students can come and grab a water bottle.
They're also adding extra fans to some classrooms and dorms.
This taxes all of our systems across the spectrum, and we work very hard. Our facility services teams works hard around the clock to ensure that everything is in working order and that folks have what they need.
While it might feel better inside some buildings,
we're still pretty well in recovery mode right now. I don't think we're smooth sailing so far.
In Joplin, Fernanda Silva, KOAM News.
Some of Missouri Southern's welcoming events also had to be relocated because of the hot temperatures. Coming up, as students return to school, a warning for parents and teachers about vapes disguised as classroom supplies. As students return to school, the government is warning parents about vapes being disguised as classroom supplies. Fox News correspondent CB Cotton has a story from New York.
These are items that would be easily concealed in a school bag.
The FDA is warning parents and teachers about highlighter e-cigarettes with bright neon colors and a familiar shape. They could easily pass as school supplies.
The tip comes out and is for the smoking vessel, and the cap that hides the bottom is actually the charging port.
This dad and daughter duo own a vape store in North Texas and are joining other business owners who refuse to sell them.
We want to keep it out of the children's hands.
And it's not just highlighter vapes to look out for.
There is other ones out like this, for example, that kind of look like a Slurpee cup.
The FDA is now telling 15 online retailers to stop selling unauthorized e-cigarettes with designs that look like a Game Boy, Super Mario, or those school supplies.
SpongeBob, Slurpee cups. There's obviously a very attractive target there for a younger audience.
To highlight, there's other devices that are shaped like a USB flash drive. The most recent item I've seen is a hooded sweatshirt, where the strings of that hooded sweatshirt are a vape device.
The CDC says e-cigarettes are highly addictive for kids and teens and can harm brain development. And some vapes designed to appeal to children have not been federally regulated and can be especially dangerous.
There's no regulation of what chemicals or the amounts of nicotine that are being placed in these items.
The FDA has warned several online retailers this week to stop selling these products in the U.S. until they meet the agency's standards. standards. If they don't, there could be fines and legal action. In New York, CB Cotton, Fox News.
Raising the legal age to purchase tobacco from 18 to 22 may help reduce nicotine dependence worldwide. That's according to a study involving smokers who had visited a smoking cessation clinic in Japan. Researchers find smoking is more addictive and difficult to quit for those who take up the habit before hitting their 20s. Meteorologist Sam Lane is next with a complete look at the forecast. And later, we're less than a week away from the start of the football season for Missouri Southern and Pitt State. John Dales will preview their matchups in sports.
Well, we did it, friends. We made it through the week with the heat wave, and it looks like we have some relief coming, and that is certainly welcome news. Let's start out this morning at Indigo Sky Casino and Resort with mostly fair skies, and as we headed through the afternoon, lots of blue skies, and of course that allowed the temperatures to really soar this afternoon. But then, look at this, some thunderstorms developed in the area and moved across, and now those have moved away a little bit, and we're left with mostly fair skies. And we did it with a bang today with a temperature of 101, which tied the record set back in 1983. Of course, we're way above the normals of 89 and 67. And of course, we're still behind on the rainfall. So far this summer, we had 2 days in June of 100 plus. Then in July, we had 5. But look at the amount in August. We had 7, including today. So we've had about a fourth of the month at 100 or above. Certainly, we don't like seeing that. Radar right now across our immediate region is clear, but notice up to the north and west, look at this. This is actually rain and thunderstorms that's developing to our north and west, and that is moving towards us over the weekend. So we have some changes in the wind. All right, let's take a look at the temperatures right now. Still very muggy, still very warm. 87 in Carthage, 83 in Nevada, also 83 in Fort Scott. Earlier, we did have a few spots that were cooling down because of the area thunderstorms, but it's still 90 right now over in Sedan. The dew points, yes, they're still up there. We're still struggling with these tremendous dew points and making it feel extremely uncomfortable out there because of the soupy conditions. In fact, right now, if you take a look at what it feels like, 96 in Nowata, 97 in Benita, and it still feels like 101 at this hour in Grove. But relief is on the way. Tomorrow, it's still going to be pretty toasty across the area with most places feeling like 100 or above along and south of I-44. But to the north, it's going to feel actually closer to the temperature. And also, rain chances are going to be increasing over the next 36 hours. And so that's good news. In fact, some of the rainfall could be heavy in isolated spots, but most areas will get around a tenth or two with those scattered showers and storms. This ridge of high pressure is finally getting out of here and moving back to the west, and that's allowing the gates to open up to some cooler weather, drier conditions, and also a chance of precipitation. As we go through the weekend, the cooler air and drier air deepens across our area, and I think you're going to like the 7-day forecast. Here's a look at the forecast for tonight. Mostly fair with temperatures in the mid-70s with the front moving in from the north and west with scattered showers and storms. Then tomorrow, isolated thunderstorms again possible, highs in the upper 80s to lower 90s, especially down to the south. That's where the best chance of storms will be. Then as we go into Sunday morning, we'll see again maybe some more thunderstorms around the area with lows in the 70s. And then in the afternoon, temperatures in the low 80s. How about that? As we head into Monday morning, even nicer with lows in the 60s. And then as we head into Monday afternoon, look at this, a high of only 84. And what is this? 50s for lows on Wednesday and Thursday with temperatures remaining at or below normal for this time of year.
It's like a miracle. Like after this week, I've just been waiting and waiting and waiting. I don't even think that I've left my house.
Good things come to those who wait.
Absolutely. Coming up, we take a look at how you should be taking care of your car in the extreme heat. Hyundai is recalling nearly 40,000 vehicles because of a software error that can cause the car to accelerate after the brake pedal is released. The recall covers certain Hyundai Elantra HEV vehicles made from 2021 to 2023. Hyundai says it will mail notification letters out by October 17th. Well, nearly 150 million people across the U.S. have been under a heat advisory at some point this month. And as the temperatures get hotter, car issues have become more frequent. Fox News multimedia reporter Joy Addison has more on that story.
13 states, stretching from Arizona to Florida to Kansas, have seen weeks of excessive heat, and it's causing tire and battery issues for drivers.
This summer, from July to August, we've seen a 7% increase in roadside calls related to the heat here in Texas.
And mechanic shops like J&T Automotive in Houston say they're filling up.
As compared to about 6 months ago, we're seeing approximately about a 40% increase in batteries just during this, heat wave.
AAA says the battery issue could happen at any time.
It'll happen while the car is parked, and then you can't start it up, right? But the damage is done from the heat that we're seeing, and also if you're driving and your battery is not secured, the vibration added on to the heat is really, really bad.
Battery issues can leave drivers stranded in life-threatening temperatures waiting for help, but there may be greater risk with tire issues because they can cause accidents.
When you have a tire that's driving on a pavement that is well over 100 degrees, and if that tire is inflated, it creates extra friction in the sidewall and extra heat in the sidewall that eventually leads to tire failure. If you're driving at highway speeds, that can be very dangerous.
It doesn't stop there. Engine issues and broken ACs are also keeping their mechanics busy.
We're seeing cars overheating as fluids tend to break down when the temperature outside is really hot. And then we're also seeing a significant increase in air conditioning systems just not being able to get cold enough in this heat.
Members of the United Auto Workers Union have overwhelmingly approved possible strikes against the big three automakers. The union says that 97% of those voting approved a strike authorization against General Motors, Ford, and Stellantis. The union is demanding significant pay raises of at least 40% to match the pay increases of chief executive officers of the big three they have made over the past 4 years. Tomorrow is National Dog Day. We take a look at a popular donut shop that is planning to celebrate next. It's about time for everything pumpkin spiced, and why not let the pups partake in the fun? Krispy Kreme wants to help. In honor of National Dog Day tomorrow, participating stores will be selling pumpkin spice doggy donuts. While they're inspired by the pumpkin spice donut collection for humans, doggy donuts are actually biscuits. They're handmade by Australian pet treat company Hudson Toke, and they come in 4 different flavors, sure to captivate your canine. 30 more minutes of news, weather, and sports coming your way. Kansas confirms multiple cases of West Nile virus in horses across the state. Plus, the Lamar Free Fair is underway. We'll check out some of the events and hear from some of the participants. Kids at the Lamar Free Fair brought out their best, but they weren't the stars. KOAM's Anthony Saviello has the story.
Excuse me, sir. Can I ask you what it's like to be a pig?
While Bacon Boy may not be in the mood to talk, I got to meet a few kids at the Lamar Free Fair who were.
You have a huge piece of watermelon here.
I might not finish it, yeah.
You might not finish it?
Yeah.
Well, if you take it, you have to finish it.
I don't think you have to finish it.
Paisley, in particular, was one of the more entertaining kids I got to meet. She took part in the sheep show out here at the fairgrounds, and wouldn't you know, she's actually one of the champions.
I'm actually thankful that I get to do this.
Yeah. How long have you been doing it?
This is actually my first year, but last year I did the Pee Wee show.
First year, and you're already a champion.
Yeah,
That's pretty amazing. And you're he's stealing the championship from you.
Yeah, she sure is.
Seems like her sheep are a little jealous of all the attention she's getting. However, they didn't have much to say.
Can you tell me what it's like to be a champion? How about you? Can you tell me?
Nor did any other animal at the fair.
Excuse me, miss. If you weren't a sheep, what kind of animal would you be? What's your favorite part about being a cow? Can you tell me what it's like to be a cow?
Even after Paisley tried.
Would you like to talk to me? Would you? What's your favorite color? You won't talk to me?
Not just a champion, but a reporter in the making. Reporting in Lamar, Anthony Saviello, KOAM News.
The fair will continue until tomorrow and will end at 11 p.m. Multiple cases of West Nile virus have been confirmed in horses across the state of Kansas over the past few weeks. Confirmed cases have been reported in Barber, Butler, Douglas, and Pratt counties. Veterinarians are required by law to report any confirmed cases to the state veterinarian. West Nile virus is a preventable disease with annual vaccinations that have been proven highly effective. The virus can infect humans, horses, birds, and other species. All of the confirmed cases in Kansas were in unvaccinated horses. Officials will recommend horse owners discuss a vaccination plan with their veterinarians. It's the first mugshot of a president in U.S. history. Former President Trump seen scowling in his booking photo after surrendering at the Fulton County Jail Thursday. Fox News correspondent Steve Harrigan has the latest from Atlanta.
This is a powerful image. It thrills some, and it appalls others.
The image that everyone is talking about, the mugshot of former President Donald Trump. Trump surrendering at the Fulton County Jail Thursday, booked on 13 charges related to alleged attempts to overturn the results of the 2020 election.
You should be able to challenge an election. I thought the election was a rigged election, a stolen election.
After being assigned an inmate number, he was released on $200,000 bond.
I believe he's innocent. I will stand before my president.
It shows that even if you have all this money and all the power and you're the most powerful person in the United States, you are not above the law and you are not above consequences.
This is the fourth indictment the former president has faced, and many Republicans seem to agree with Trump's allegations the charges are politically motivated.
I think it's a sad day in America. I think it's disgraceful. I mean, the idea that we're seeing a mugshot of a 77-year-old former president, I mean, how did we get to this point?
The district attorney in Fulton County proposing a trial start date of October 23rd for all 19 defendants. But the judge has only granted that trial date for just one co-defendant so far.
Certainly, if you're asking for a speedy trial, you're going to get one. Most of the defendants, I think, are not eager to do that because this is a massive case and they've got to work through this evidence.
Next up legally will be the arraignment, likely sometime in September. That's when all 19 defendants will have a chance to be formally charged and make their plea. In Atlanta, Steve Harrigan, Fox News.
The Trump campaign quickly taking advantage of the former president's mugshot, now selling merchandise like coffee mugs, t-shirts, and bumper stickers plastered with the historic image. There are more questions than answers following the deadly plane crash U.S. officials believe was carrying a rival of Vladimir Putin. While the Pentagon says Wagner Group leader Yevgeny Prigozhin was targeted and killed in the plane explosion this week, the Kremlin rejected the assessment today, calling the worldwide speculation all lies. The Wagner mercenary group was responsible for a failed coup attempt against Putin earlier this year. A bit later, still searching for hundreds.
More than 2 weeks after wildfires devastated Maui, hundreds remain missing. I'm William Lajeunesse in Los Angeles. Details coming up.
Well, you know, they say you save the best for last, and it looks like we saved the hottest for last when it comes to this heat wave. We were up to 101 today. In many locations, it was the hottest as it has been all week. Right now, though, at Indigo Sky Casino and Resort, things are looking pretty nice. We have a little bit of cloud cover in association with the next storm system that's going to be moving down from the north and west. We made it up to 101 in Joplin today, which actually tied the record set back in 1983. And of course, that's way above the normals of 89 and 67. And of course, we're still behind on the rainfall. Right now in our local area, radar is all clear, but up to the north and west, we have more storms developing, and that is part of the cold front that's moving in our direction. And by the time it gets here, we're going to see increasing cloudiness, rain chances, and cooler weather. Right now, though, it's still plenty warm out there. 82 in Neodesha, 87 in Independence, 85 and up in Iola, a little bit cooler over in Stockton, where they're currently sitting at 83 degrees. Let's take a look at the dew points, because this has been the story this entire heat wave. With dew points in the mid to upper 70s and even lower 80s, it just makes it extremely uncomfortable out there and harder for your body to cool off with those kind of dew points. And as a result, it still feels like 102 in Grove and in Anderson right now, 89 in Nevada, and 90 up in Iola is what it feels like. Now tomorrow, it's going to be hot again, or feel like hot, with temperatures at or above 100 degrees, feeling like down in Oklahoma, 90s up towards the north, and also we have rain chances increasing tonight and especially tomorrow into tomorrow night. Rainfall amounts are going to be pretty much light on the light side. A few areas could pick up some heavier showers and storms, which those will be the lucky few. Most of us are going to just get a little bit. We're waiting for this ridge of high pressure to move off towards the west, and as it does, here comes the energy from the north and west, and that's going to introduce again the chances of showers and storms, and also some cooler weather and also drier air, and that's going to allow the temperatures to fall to very comfortable levels, especially in the nighttime hours. Tonight, we're going to see lows in the 70s with the front moving in from the north and west. It comes through during the day tomorrow, so we'll still see temperatures in the upper 80s to lower 90s and it feeling pretty uncomfortable, with most of the storm activity starting to move to the south. Then as we go into Sunday, scattered showers and storms in the morning with lows in the 70s, and then in the afternoon, winds turn around to the north and east, and look at this. Highs in the lower 80s. That will feel so nice after the week that we have had. Then as we go into Monday, lows in the 60s, very comfortable, even a few 50s up towards the north and east. Over the next 7 days, we have a nice stretch of weather coming across the area with not much precipitation, but hey, we'll take the nice cooler temperatures and we'll hopefully catch up on the rainfall at some point. And unfortunately, we could be returning back to the heat wave next week, but we'll worry about that later.
We'll make sure to enjoy the cooler temperatures.
Yeah.
Thanks, Sam. The search for survivors continues on the island of Maui. More than 2 weeks after devastating wildfires, hundreds remain missing. Fox News national correspondent William Lajeunesse has more.
We need your help now.
Maui police releasing the names of nearly 400 still unaccounted for after this deadly wildfire. Police asked relatives to submit DNA samples to help with identification, but as of Wednesday, just 104 families had completed the process. They asked anyone with information about those missing to contact police or the FBI.
We do know that once those names come out, it can and will cause pain for some folks that are affected by this.
Confirmed dead, 115. As of Monday, rescuers finished searching single-story residential buildings and have moved into multi-story and commercial properties. Once that is complete, Lahaina can begin the grueling task of removing debris.
We were okay with the status quo of what Lahaina was. Now we're going to see what Lahaina is going to be.
More than 2 weeks after the blaze, the exact cause is still unknown. On Thursday, Maui County filed a lawsuit against Hawaiian Electric, saying the company ignored warnings and kept power lines on during dangerous fire conditions. The lawsuit alleges downed lines ignited dry fuel and contributed to the fires.
Trees into lines, lines breaking, falling on the ground, and energizing grass. All of those things that I described are things that our fire investigators found in this case.
Hawaiian Electric says it's disappointed by the lawsuit and remains focused on supporting the people of Maui. In Los Angeles, William Lajeunesse, Fox News.
Coming up in sports, the first week of Friday night high school football is here. Plus, Missouri Southern and Pitt State begin their final week of practice before their season starts on Thursday. John Dales has those stories next.
Football season is knocking on the doorstep for our two local universities. Missouri Southern and Pitt State were under a week away from the first game of 2023. The Lions and Gorillas each play at home on Thursday to kick off the season. Just one more week until defending MIAA champion Pitt State gets the opportunity to play on Carney Smith Field against teams other than itself.
Certainly on day one, you got a lot of energy and a lot of excitement, and as I told the group, it's all about stacking good days on good days.
Helping the Gorillas try to repeat as conference champs is a roster full of 4th, 5th, and 6th year seniors.
Can't say enough. I mean, there's so many great things, so many great qualities. First and foremost, just these guys as young men. Who they are every single day, who they are through adversity, who they are when they have success. They model what it's supposed to look like, on and off the field, and I'm so proud of them.
One of those is 6th-year offensive lineman Trace Jeffries, who is less than satisfied with an MIAA championship and all-conference season himself in 2022.
I feel like we took a step backwards last year as a unit, and me personally as an individual, I don't feel like I played up to my expectations. And I feel like this year we're going to go out there and try to be physically dominant.
Another is Michael Lacey, who's anchoring the Gorilla defensive backfield.
The biggest thing that, this defense talks about is, having ownership and whatever your role is, whatever your position is, owning that. So if you're one of those guys that needs to make those plays, you have to own that. And that's what that'll be this year for me, owning, that role that I have, the trust that the guys have in me and owning that role.
Meanwhile, Missouri Southern is coming off a 4-7 campaign, but head coach Atiba Bradley says the Lions proved they can compete in the MIAA.
2022 had a lot of close losses, and I'm excited to see if we've made the jump that we need to so that those close losses turn into close wins and we can flip this thing around.
The Lions have a fair share of upperclassmen as well, like 5th-year senior Jaden Stoshak, who says he's happy with how some of the young guys are playing, especially redshirt sophomore quarterback Luke Sampson.
I think his decision-making, being able to see his reads better now. Last year, he was kind of thrown into it. Every now and then he would take a series here and there, but, when it was his time to play, he was just thrown in there. And so, not that he didn't have reps before, but I think, the more you rep anything, the better you're going to be at it. And so, being able to have those repetitions with reads, the timing, with your receivers, the mesh with your running backs. I think all three phases that he worked there, he's performed well in.
Now the Lions host Northwest Missouri State. Gorillas begin the year with Washburn. Each of those conference games, and we'll keep you updated on both teams until then. Now at the high school level, tonight football season begins in Missouri and Oklahoma, so be sure to tune in for the first edition of 4 State Friday night on KOAM. We'll be showing highlights and scores from all the games in the area. That'll get started around 10:15 during the second half of KOAM News at 10. But for now, that's all with sports. We're back with more news after this.
One company is hoping to transform the world of boxing using artificial intelligence. Fox News' Sue Guzman has more.
The use of artificial intelligence to give sports fans a better viewing experience is nothing new. But one Danish tech startup is hoping to throw the first punch when it comes to using the tool to revolutionize combat sports.
Round one. Box!
The company Jabber has developed an AI system called Deep Strike.
I think it's going to be absolutely transformative for the clubs.
Jabber says its AI system is capable of calculating 50 different areas in real time. The company says, given a video feed of a boxing match, its technology can analyze how many strikes a fighter throws, how many connect, and how much they hurt, but that's not all.
It's also going to do a lot of other cool things like generate automated highlights for you.
The company recently testing Deep Strike at a boxing club in London for the first time. The system successfully kept up with the action using different camera angles to generate highlights, as well as gather statistics and performance analysis. Some hope this is just the start of modernizing the industry.
I think it's high time we do that sort of thing. Boxing as an industry in general tends to be fairly staid, where everyone just does what they've done before.
There are concerns about whether the technology could replace referees, but the company says while that's a hot-button issue, Deep Strike has shown it can do the job.
For 10 out of the 12 fights, it picked the same winner as the judges.
Jabber says it's working on making beta a version of its AI system available to the public later this year. Sue Guzman, Fox News.
Coming up, how a little girl in Texas was reunited with her doll that was left on a plane halfway around the world. Many people have lost things on a plane, including a little girl in Texas. She thought she lost her doll after she accidentally left it on a plane in Tokyo. She says her doll is her best friend, but thanks to social media, word eventually got to a man living near the family. As Jobin Paniker explains, the man also happens to be a pilot and helped reunite the girl with her beloved doll.
You are seeing the nerves of a 9-year-old.
Yeah, I'm just like grabbing stuff and like shaking.
Valentina has waited too long.
3 weeks.
For a knock at the door and the friend she's lost touch with.
She's my best friend. She has brown hair. She has like my color skin.
Beatrice was a big part of our lives for the last 3-4 years. I am feeling sad because she's very sad.
That is until today.
I'm the quiet guy that you don't see.
When First Officer James Danon shows up.
Hello.
Just 3 weeks ago, the Dominguez family was vacationing in Tokyo. Valentina thought she had all her bags, everything, and everyone.
Beatrice. Thank you.
You're welcome.
The American Girl doll she lost on the plane.
Thank you.
And now the new friend she found in Jim, an American Airlines pilot.
My nature, I like helping people. I mean, that's just what I like doing.
An online post alerted a friend who told another friend who told Jim, who happens to fly into Tokyo often. Beatrice was in Lost and Found.
5,880 miles to Haneda from DFW.
Beatrice's return home is well documented.
I have it right here.
And she traveled a lot.
Even more remarkable is where Jim lives.
Yeah, from right here in Dallas.
Of all the places.
That's right.
What is the likelihood of that?
I don't know. It's got to be pretty small.
Was he well behaved on the flight?
Very well behaved, yes.
Look back and you never remember the things you have, quite like what you've lost.
Their world is a lot smaller than ours, right?
But just big enough to feel a friend was worlds away.
There's a lot of kindness in this world.
And a new friend miles apart.
Well, that's our time for tonight. Thanks for joining us. We'll leave you with a video of penguins learning to swim. Have a great night and even better tomorrow.